Basic chocolate chip cookies. Starting off strong, we're gonna mix our dry together, which is our flour, our salt, and our baking soda. That actually all came out good. Okay, so then you just give that a quick mix. We're gonna set that aside and we're gonna start creaming together our butter and our sugars. Okay. We also have our oven on right now, so that is preheating. Here's our butter. Come on, get out of there. I'm actually going to, I will scrape this one. Perfect, there we go. So we've got our butter, white sugar, brown sugar. I did all of this by weight, and if weight is something that you are a little bit intimidated of, you really shouldn't, because you end up actually, typically you have to think, if you're doing this by weight, you don't have to have all these different little cups and everything. You can just measure it right into your bowl. You'd put your bowl right onto your scale, and then you'd be able to measure that weight out, which makes it super easy and super fast and a lot less mess to clean. So that's always nice. Now this is our classic, no oats, no nothing, chocolate chip cookie. So I guess we would have to say that this is probably even a better base than the previous one that was with the oatmeal, because we did figure out that when you leave out the oats, you have to put in quite a bit more flour just to be able to keep the structure in the cookie. Otherwise they can go flat. So this one, you don't have to worry about that. This one is just going to be a perfect, simple chocolate chip cookie. You can do milk chocolate, you can do dark chocolate, you can do peanut butter, you can do all of those different things. You can put nuts in, but we're just keeping it simple with chocolate chips. You can see this is nice and creamed together. Awesome, that is beautiful. So then we're going to put in our eggs. So remember, when you're cracking your eggs, flat, to give yourself that nice little area, finger in, open, no shell. No problem. Perfect. We're going to mix this in one at a time. And again, remember we talked about this. This is just so that you can guarantee everything mixes in smoothly, because you can see how it kind of goes piecey like this when we mix it, right? If you were to put 2 eggs in at once, it would actually be a bit more of a pain to get it to incorporate entirely. So one at a time technically will end up saving you time, just because you're not going to have to fight with the dough. There we go. Nice. Okay, so looking nice and smooth, very pretty. Awesome. So then second egg, one here, as you can see against there, perfect little hole. There we go. Into there again. Wipe my hands because I hate that feeling. And second time. So you can just mix this in like this. So yes, I am preheating my oven right now because I want it to be hot. You always want to preheat your oven, so that way it's ready to go at the heat you want to bake at. If you were to not preheat your oven and put this in, it would actually leave your cookie in for too long and it has a chance of burning it. So preheat your oven with basically every recipe that I give you. It's just the safer way to do it, and it'll guarantee that you get a really nice bake. Look how pretty and smooth that is. That looks so nice. I'm gonna laugh. I feel like I thought I saw some shell and now I'm paranoid, but whatever, it's just for me. So if I end up eating some shell, that's my own fault. Let's grab our vanilla. There it is. Okay, so we've got our vanilla again. I'm measuring with my heart. I will give you your actual measurements, 1 and 2. Perfect. Put that lid back on so I don't make a mess of myself. And mix it in. The cool thing is once you start watching a lot of these videos, you're gonna notice that the process is the same, right? So you do this process with pretty much every cookie. It just might be a few different ingredients or a few different flavorings or whatever, but the process for making cookies is the same. There are a couple different processes when it comes to making, say, cakes, but cookies are pretty standard. Okay, looks so pretty, so smooth. Let's grab that powder. This is our dry ingredients again. We're gonna put this right in. I did have other people ask if you can use a mixer. You absolutely can use a mixer for this. You would use your paddle attachment. I am not using the mixers that I have, and I have, to be honest, I have a lot of mixers because I've done a lot of baking out of my house. But I just wanted to show people that you can do this without having to have fancy equipment. That this, when you really think about it, baking started off like this. This is what people had to do to be able to make their baked goods. So here we go. So before mixers, this is what everyone would have been doing anyways. So it just shows you don't have to have it. If you do, yeah, it's gonna save you time. It's gonna save you an arm workout, but is it going to really change anything? Not all that much, so that's not a big deal. And then I'm gonna add in, okay, you can see, mixed together, looking good. Then we're gonna add in our chocolate chips. Give this one its last mix in there. Fold these in. I'm out of breath again. But again, a paddle attachment on any mixer that you have, really you keep it on low pretty much the whole time. You don't need to be whipping anything. You're not trying to get air into it. Beautiful. Just like this. And see how that's gonna bug me, and I know it's gonna bug you, so you can just take your spatula, scrape it off. Scrape this guy too, just to make sure there's nothing sticking in and we get to really mix that in. And I'm going to mix it just one last little bit. Just like this, you can see, looking nice. Scrape the bottom, scrape your bottom, make sure everything gets worked through. Beautiful. Awesome, I'm gonna grab my pans and we're gonna start to measure these guys out and roll them onto our pans. Okay, 1 second. So here we go. My pans are not non-stick. That means that they don't have a non-stick coating on them. I've got these cookie scoops, so you can do this. I don't even have greased hands, one at a time, pop it there. Yeah, I don't use non-stick because there's enough oil and butter in these that you truly don't need it. Yeah, but what you have at home will change a little bit of how yours bake. So if yours are dark, that does mean that they are non-stick, and it typically means that it might bake a little bit faster. The ones that are like this, that are the like light colored aluminum, they end up baking a little bit slower, which is nice because they're the lighter in color, so that you don't have to worry about them burning quite as fast. So you're able to get those full timed baked cookies in there. But you can see how long this takes. It really doesn't take long. Again, I did pre-measure my stuff ahead of time, so my time frame will be a little bit faster than what yours is. And obviously, this is not my first rodeo. I have made many, many, many sets of cookies. So if this is your first time baking these things, don't feel bad if you take longer than I do. Take your time, don't feel rushed. It's not a big deal. It's okay to not be quick. That's all right. The last thing is this one. And then I'm going to do a little push down on each one, just like this, because I like them a little bit squished. And we're gonna bake that at a preheated oven of 375 degrees for anywhere between 12 to 15 minutes, okay? So here's the 12 that we've got ready to go, and I'm gonna go and bake them. This batch is gonna make about 36 cookies. These ones have not been baked yet. So this is after 13 minutes, straight out of the oven. So they're super, super hot. They look perfect. So here is your recipe so that you can screenshot it. Take that screenshot so that you can make this at home. Remember, you can use any type of chocolate chips in it that you want. We're going to let these sit on here for 5 to 7 minutes before we scoop them off and put them onto a cooling rack to let them cool completely. So in a couple minutes, I'm gonna come back, scoop them off, and then I'll show you the inside of the cookie. This has been about 5 minutes. It's still hot. You can see I'm using my gloves still, and I've got my little scooper, but they should just slide off about that easy. And again, this is not a non-stick pan. There's no special coating on this. It is just a regular aluminum pan that you would get at like a baking supply store, but they come off that easy. They're still warm, but they come off nice and clean. So there's not a ton to clean. There we go. One more, there we go. And just to give you a closer look at what the cookies look like here, and then I'll break one open and show you the inside. So we're just gonna grab one here, we'll break it open. It's still warm, but you can see baked the whole way through, golden on the bottom. You can always bake them a little longer if you like them more crisp, or just like this to have the crunchy outside and chewy inside. Perfect. So, yep, still super warm, but they're delicious. Okay, love you, bye.